Hello all, this is the Owl, and today, well, I guess let's just dive on in, because I've had rather the surreal weekend. So, a few days ago, I put out a quick little video on a manga that I've been reading since 2004, 2005 maybe? Bloody hell, that's almost 20 years ago. Yeah, now I feel like a right old fart. Anyways, it wasn't my usual beat of little-known horror manga, quirky apocalypses, terrible jump scares, and weird-ass Junji Ito stories, but since a surprising number of folks on the Discord have been asking me to cover it, I said, what the hell? Threw together a mostly tongue-in-cheek, but still earnest opinion of the thing, uploaded it, and then went out for a stroll with Mrs. and Baby Owl.
What could possibly go wrong?
Little did I know what was about to unfold over the next 24 hours. By the time I got back in, I had a few comments on there that made me groan. I went to bed, not thinking any more of it, but by the next morning, folks were flooding in to do the virtual equivalent of taking a whittle through my mailbox. By noon, someone had found the email attached, and folks with K-pop related YouTube channels. Yes, I'm also confused. Is there some overlap here between Bleach fans and K-pop fans? Were sending me some pretty interesting stuff there. Let's just say, threatening to false flag the video if I didn't take it down was the least of it. All of which was rather startling. See, the video, at least to my mind, wasn't even that critical of the manga. In fact, I think that I ended on the point of, while it does have its flaws, I really like Bleach, and have read it a few times. But, you know what? The entire thing did give me a bit of a baffled chuckle. So, while this is not something I do or will do very often, today we're going to take a look at the drama. We're going to go through a random sampling of said comments, and see if we can't get to the bottom of just what the hell happened here, and why folks are so up in arms over, honestly, what amounted to a bit of very gentle poking, and a few tongue-in-cheek jokes at a manga's expense. It's time for a little dash of drama. Let's not make a habit of it. So, what exactly is the protocol for making one of these videos? Let's see. Gameplay footage. Check. That weird blur effect for screen caps. Check. A bunch of genuinely buck-wild posts from YouTube. Check and double check. And if you want to see more, I'm sure that you will find more in the responses to this video. Although, I really hope not. Oh right, before we jump into all of the haha internet funnies, I actually do want to address a handful of points where people may have, in fact, had a, point. Wow, this is why you don't write scripts at 3 AM. And yes, if my audio sounds a little funny, it's because the rain is coming down hard, sort of on and off, and I'm not sure what it's going to sound like after I filter it. Anyways, the first has to do with Aizen's plan, and the plotline of the Soul Society arc, leading into the Arrancar arc. Basically, I glossed over it, and also made a glib joke about Aizen's plan being overcomplicated wibbly-woo. You know, Rukia, false charges, sabotaged bodies, conspiracies, Hogyoku, Soul King, yada yada yada. Which, yes, I actually do still stand by that. But I think this was more of a case of a joke not landing properly. I should have been more obvious that this is what I was doing. Fair enough. The second has to do with me calling Ichigo a bland protagonist, which, oh boy, this one got some fun responses. Now, after reading quite a few posts along these lines, a lot of which were really long, and that's not an insult, it's a testament to how much people care about this manga. Yes, I suppose that you could make an argument that there is more depth and nuance to Ichigo than a lot of people, including myself, give him credit for. In essence, that I was being uncharitable. On one hand, that's reasonable. On the other hand, I do think that folks are reading things into a character and into a manga that aren't exactly there, and perhaps being over-charitable as opposed to my uncharitability in the same way we saw people being during the Star Wars and Twilight resurgences. Anyone remember ring theory? At the end of the day, fiction is just that, fictional, and thus analyses and reviews of said fiction will, by their very nature, be subjective. I may disagree with your opinion on a piece of fiction, but that opinion is still a valid one, as long as you're willing to substantiate it. However, in the same vein, it is my opinion that Bleach is not a perfect manga. You should not feel personally attacked because our opinions differ when it comes to the animus. If you do feel this way, I think your first step should be asking yourself why. Why did a quick and dirty video from a small YouTuber make you lose your fluff? And a few last things. First up, no, I have no problem with criticism. I know that I'm still very new to this, and I'm learning the ins and outs of recording, scripting, audio engineering, and making my videos not look like complete arse. Yes, shut up. I know I've got a ways to go, but this wasn't that. That said, secondly, please don't go and hassle folks in my comments section. And lastly, don't worry, chalk this up as a bonus video that I made because it's pissing down out, and the other owls are fast asleep. With that, in no particular order, take it away, internet. The famous I love Bleach but all frauds are the same. Yes, of course. Because everyone knows that when you like a piece of media, that's just not enough. You must love that piece of media, uncritically, utterly, and exclusively. If you acknowledge any flaws in it whatsoever, then, of course, you do not, in fact, really like that media. No, seriously, what are we doing here? Maybe it's because I'm just an old duffer, but I really do not understand why folks these days invest so much of themselves into these various fandoms, to the point where even lukewarm criticism of said media can set them off like a claymore mine. I'm gonna be honest here, mate. I don't think this is particularly healthy. Even if you really, really love Bleach and think that I'm totally off base, you do need to be able to understand that A, not everyone is going to like the same things you do, and B, that it can still have flaws. Let's do another one. Yeah, you're illiterate, the Aizen doing stuff when we know the reason he doing that sad emoji. Please read the series and don't skim it like you did with TG. I'm guessing TG means Tokyo Ghoul, I think. Honestly, that was a bit of a head scratcher. But I'm also surprised that Tokyo Ghoul wasn't the one to set people off, because I was way more critical of that manga. And again, guess what? I still like Tokyo Ghoul. I never really understood the whole Ichigo's a bad MC main character because he's reactionary take. By that standard, Goku, Yusuke Urameshi, Mugen, Spider-Man, Batman, and so many others would be bad protagonists as well, but I never see anyone use that as criticism against those characters, only Ichigo. Alright, where do I start here? Well, again, I actually got a few messages on this theme, but okay, let's go through it. Goku, now I love me some Dragon Ball Z. It was one of the first manga I actually read, but I would happily say that Goku is a worse main character than Ichigo, because clueless, negligent idiot grates far more than does bland. Yusuke, I'd have to go back and read Yu Yu again before I could answer that because it's been literal decades. Spider-Man, Batman, and honestly I would have thrown Superman in too. These aren't exactly fair comparisons, because you're talking about characters with not far off 100 years of development, including reboots, retcons, deaths and reincarnations, and some truly bizarro continuities. See what I did there? Bizarro? Sort of. And be honest here, have you never seen anyone call Goku a bad main character? Did you look? Next one. Okay, I'm not reading the whole thing. Let's look at the end, which is the interesting part. A good question is this. If Ichigo is a bad main character like Bleach critics say, why is Ichigo one of the most beloved, if not the most beloved character in the series? Rukia isn't even top 5 in most people's list, but Ichigo is almost always number 1, only rivaled by Aizen. You know what? Take a second, think about it, because I think you know the answer. Could it be because he's the main character? Also, Shonen Jump popularity polls are sometimes inexplicable. Remember, people frigging love this character of all things. Next one. Bleach never stopped being profitable. You saying the same thing over and over doesn't make said thing true. Everything else you said was opinionated, okay, and irrelevant. Mate, why are we conflating profitable with good? Things that are good are not always things that are profitable, and things that are profitable aren't always things that are good. And yes, this video was based on my opinions of Bleach. This is what a review is. If you want an objectively true review, especially a media review, then I suggest you find another channel, probably in a different reality. Anyway, the conversation continues, and for some reason people start dunking on Demon Slayer, which, you know, I am just going to leave this one on screen for a bit, while I attempt to push my brains back up my nose. And yes, this keeps going. And yeah, I will happily admit that I mostly enjoy Bleach because of the fights. It's an action shonen. That's like saying I mostly enjoy Baskin Robbins because of the ice cream. Next up, it's 2023 and YouTubers still lying about what happened to Bleach for internet clout. Keep in mind that I'm quite new to this whole YouTube thing, but if I were looking for, I'm guessing, clicks and attention, wouldn't I be better off tackling the anime? Or, you know, a manga released in the past 5 years? Maybe I'm just out of touch. Bruh, Super Eye Patchwolf. What? Oh, Super Eye Patchwolf did kind of videos before. LMAO, the anime and manga fans today are more matured now than before. Rise and Fall, that's a unique title, LMAO. No, it's not an especially original title, I'll give you that happily, but titles are hard, mate. Also, that name sounds familiar. Oh, it's this dude. Yeah, with the Garfield video. That was a good video. Next one. Okay, this is running kind of long, so we'll end this soon. Calling Fullbring Arc bad is insane. Look at Mark's video on it. He is a way bigger channel than you, and he considers it the best Bleach arc. You completely miss the point of the arc and how well written it is. Then call me insaney McStraightJacket Pants because I thought the Fullbring arc was a load of arse, with the exception of some decent art and some fun Ikaku and Zaraki moments. Also, no, I have no idea who that is, but I've never been a believer in the whole X person has a bigger channel than Y person, meaning that X person is right. In the words of the late great Sir Terry Pratchett, my bum has been a bum for a very long time, but that doesn't mean I have to listen to anything it says. Okay, 2 more because I'm starting to feel drunk. Basically, the chap says that me calling Ichigo bland is a literal slap in the face, and references these other YouTubers, DBZ Imran, and a few others that I've seen mentioned, who I might give a look at, but keep in mind, we've got a newborn, and I've got a sick wife. So, believe it or not, I don't have much time for YouTube these days outside of making videos. But I will say this. If you really interpret someone else criticizing a fictional character as any sort of personal attack or affront, you probably need some perspective, because I don't think that's healthy. This guy does actually go on to be kind of decent, so yeah, appreciate it. The last one is also interesting. It's cool, man. Some people shouldn't be upset about different opinions, but then again, people have been dogging Bleach for years, so it means some of the Bleach fans are going to be real defensive about some criticism. I'm not sure what dogging means, but I understand from context. And see, that's actually reasonable. As someone who was in Japan at the time, Bleach's fan base, even over there, really did sort of turn on it, and it wasn't pretty. I am sure that the remaining fans, especially those who invest a lot of themselves into their fandoms, might take it personally, but once again, maybe I'm just out of touch, as I've never been part of a fandom. These things just weren't really around in my day, especially in Africa. But I don't understand why folks are so heavily and so personally invested in the media they consume. I mean, I get that you like Bleach. Believe it or not, I like Bleach. I just don't think that it's a perfect manga. And I don't think that you have to love any media unconditionally. Hell, I'd prefer to be reading Higurashi, which is my favorite manga, but if I saw a YouTuber, especially a YouTuber as small as me, making a critical video on Higurashi, I may certainly disagree with their criticisms, but I wouldn't have a crap attack about it, or feel personally attacked. Is there something here I'm just not seeing? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyways, that has been your yearly dose of drama. Next time, something that isn't this. Before we finish for the day, I want to give a huge thanks, as always, to my bloody fantastic patrons. Astrixic Gaming, Piece of Yeast, Elspresso, Cheerful Satanist, Starwin Marwin, High Lord J, Calcor, Jacob Ramsey, Crazy, James Bakes Bread, Wargle, Lance Goebel, Paul Norberger, Rafferty, Aaron Arnold, The Hedgehog Gamer, Simone, XTC Pill, and Jake. If you want to see more like this, well, not like this, but you know, stuff about manga, feel free to stick around. Subscribe, bell, you know the drill. If you want to hear me say your name, get early access to most of my videos, have some fun perks on the Discord, and, you know, help Mrs. Owl and I out or buy Baby Owl the necessaries, and ensure that I can keep on doing what I do, why not take a look at our Patreon? All links, as always, are in the description. Take care, and cheers, my friends. Until next time, this is the Owl, signing off.